played Split Fiction.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to bring this up so we could talk more about it.
I do think I need to explain that we were supposed to play it on Monday, but I did not download it in time.
Yeah.
I did not know it was going to take 4 hours. I thought it was only going to take 2.
No, admittedly, mine took absolutely ages because it's quite a large game. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be as large as it was.
That's what she said. Uh, but I did finally get downloaded. So we played it on Wednesday, and we really just hit the intro on Wednesday. We didn't really delve into it as deep. We kind of got the basic storyline down, which
Mm-hmm.
is so it's as Nana kept saying in my chat that Ferris is not, or however you say his last name.
Joseph Ferris, yeah.
Ferris, it is Ferris. He's not subtle.
No, of course he's not. Like, but
it's very obvious.
none of his games have been subtle. I mean, you look at It Takes Two and Dr. Hakim, which was the love book, and it is so on the nose all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it wears its references on its sleeve. It uses it. It very much has its inspirations all there. But anyway.
But then, what did I do on Friday? I don't remember what I played on Friday, which is probably a bad thing.
I mean, I know Thursday, obviously, we were playing that, but you played a bit of Power Wash, didn't you, as well, just to kill the time?
I did, just to kill some time, but that was the same day we were playing.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I played, but I know that on Saturday, me and Pete played on Split Fiction. This time, we got to do really, really awesome, cool stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, the bosses are really, really difficult. I'm not real cool about that. I don't really like that.
I actually think the bosses aren't the most difficult. There are some elements in it that are sort of like that do sort of feel like bullet hell, which I've got no issue with.
Yeah.
But I think the checkpointing system within the boss fight itself is quite lenient. So if you get a hit on it, then it still registers it. Like if both of you die, you still register the fact that a hit has happened.
Hello, Pilot.
Hello.
Pilot has arrived. But we got to do some really cool, like, and if anyone wants to redeem another glass,
yeah,
I'm ready. But no, we got to do the cool elements. But we got, I don't know, is it considered spoilers now?
The side stories don't necessarily matter in terms of the actual real story itself. So, I'll explain this just briefly beforehand. So, you've got the main narrative, which is two characters by the name of Mio and...
You're special everywhere, Pilot.
God, what's her name? What's your character? The character? Zoe, that's the one. So Mio and Zoe are two aspiring writers who've been invited to a publisher because they think they're getting a deal. But actually they've been basically taken into what is very similar to Assassin's Creed Animus system.
Yes,
but they're having all of their ideas completely extracted from them. So not the stories that not just the stories that they submitted for publishing, but all of their stories. So Mio doesn't like the fact that being a sci-fi writer, she knows exactly what's going to happen, and doesn't get into her pod and ends up getting into Zoe's pod and causes a lot of glitching to happen. So they're actually traversing through various worlds that are created by either of them. So Mio is a sci-fi writer and Zoe is a fantasy writer. The vast majority of what we've done so far is within the sci-fi world where you play as cyber ninjas. Yes. But this leads into the fact that there are certain aspects where you get parts of bubbles that appear which are side stories. So in the first session we did a side story that was very much set in ancient Persia, very much like playing Prince of Persia.
Very similar.
And it was fun. But Kylie, I'll let you take this one because you were bawling with laughter. I think we both were, to be fair.
We both were, and I'm going to make that a highlight and probably post it to YouTube as well because it was unbridled joy. We jumped into this fantasy side story, and it took a little, half a second to register, but we were pigs. Now, not only were we little piggies that were adorable and cute, and holy crap, that whole section was cute, Pete got fart power. Now, if you know me and my channel, Absolutely love when they give characters fart power. It's a throwback to Abe's Odyssey, which was one of my favorite games. And I would push the fart button. It would make my mother laugh, which was all I ever wanted to do. So I was like, I love games that have fart power. So
Yeah.
my pig was a spring, like a
Yeah, it was
slinky.
like a slinky dog.
Yeah.
Or slinky pig.
Obviously. And then we got to wallow in the mud. There were little tiny baby piggies. I was just like, oh my gosh.
There was a flying pig just
there was
pooping,
flying pigs,
raining
pooping.
poop.
Yes, just raining poop, which I love the poop humor.
The puma.
To an extent. I mean, some people can take it too far. I'm like, oh. But that stuff, that was my level of hilariousness. And it was just absolute joy. And I think you can actually hear and see that Pete and I are just absolute joy in that section. Because it was just amazing.
It was the stupidest thing that I think I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. And at the end, we became hot dogs. We had to flop ourselves on the grill as hot dogs.
Yeah, you had to go and cook yourself, then cover yourself in mustard and ketchup, and the side story ends with you being eaten.
Yeah.
To which Mio is then asking, "What the hell is this all about?" It's like, "What better?" And Zoe's like, "What better way to basically teach people about how hot dogs are made?"
Exactly. She's like, I wrote it when I was 6 or something like that. Which is funny because a little personal story. I am a professional writer. No, not under this name, so don't even try it. But I'm a professional writer, have been, like, forever. And my first story, I also wrote, well, I was writing way before 6, but at 6, I wrote a story about a pen and a pencil, and the pen was a detective, and they had to, like, find out who stole the apples. But it was so funny because apples featured so heavily in this section.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is very, like, 6-year-oldish. That's very, like, on target for a writer.
Yeah, because the section is to get through all of it. You have to go through a door that is hungry for apples. So you have to find 2 apples to get through.
Yes.
And one's in an area that obviously each player can use their respective powers to get through.
Yeah.
So
Daker says, "What a bunch of wieners."
I saw that. Yeah, it was awful.
I'm gonna redeem my own wine.
Go for it.
It's not wine.
But yeah, so I think I said it at the time, and I was being tongue in cheek when I said it, but I think you probably were as well. That section alone made it a Game of the Year contender.
Oh yeah, like I mean, it's easy to say that now because we haven't played any other games, but like that was like.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I've played a few, but nothing's registered for me yet. But that section was it was absolute joy and absolute delight.
Yeah.
It was just.
But I think the reason why I loved it as much as I did was because it was a nice change of pace from all the hyper hardcore, like serious sci-fi moment, like where you're
like
playing as cyber ninjas.
Boss.
Like, but I think the thing is that what I really enjoy about the game is the writing's a bit on the nose at times,
It's not subtle.
But actually, the gameplay is unbelievably solid again, like it was in It Takes Two. And this is the thing that Hazelight seemed to do very well, is that, as a co-op game, it's very much designed around the co-op aspect. And the nice thing is that one person buys the game and the other person can still play it. And you could just invite people via your online platform. Yeah. And I really like that. And it's a very un-EA thing to do.
Yes,
but,
it is.
It's just nice that they're actively encouraging co-op play. And I think that's the best part about it, is that just getting to play a game, especially when we don't play many games together, but when we do, we seem to have quite a lot of fun, and this game is a lot of fun. I got to the end of the stream last night and I was exhausted because we've spoken about this before, having to entertain an audience whilst playing a game might not be my forte. But actually, I just wanted to play more, but I know you're like, I want to play this because of people, and it's like, but I want to play more.
I know.
But it's fine. We'll play more at some point soon.
We will definitely play more. Absolutely. My brain gets tired.
Oh, I know it does, but we did 2 hours, and 2 hours was perfectly fine.
A lot for me, yeah.
I don't think it's a very long game. I think it's like 8 to 10 hours, but it feels like we're probably about nearly halfway through the game at least. Possibly.
Really, I feel like we're still at the beginning, but that's just me because
Yeah, well, apparently, like, I think because we've now done what is essentially somewhat the main boss or somewhat one of the main bosses in the area, that we're now going over to a completely different side of the game.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they handle the fantasy aspect.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of powers we're gonna get from there. Is it gonna be very sword and sorcery, or is it gonna be
Fart powers?
yeah, more far powers? Let's do it.
More fart power.
Yeah. Yeah, very, like, obviously I speak probably for the both of us, but I will not say for definitively, but I very much enjoy this game, and
I've enjoyed it very much.
it's probably, if it maintains this level of quality,
Yeah.
it's very much a Game of the Year contender already.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. If
And-
I get to experience more joy like that,
Yeah.
yes.
I will say as well, we're playing on PC, even though my graphics card is below the minimum specs, runs flawlessly and runs perfectly and looks superb as well in 1440p.
Oh,
And
it looks, yeah.
I'm not having many aspects where I'm getting a lot of frame skips or frame rate dropping down. I haven't really seen because I haven't had the clock on. You know how Steam has the FPS counter. I forgot to add it on for this one, but that's fine.
Right.
I will make sure I add it for the next one. But even with a lot of stuff that's going on, it seems to maintain a really good level of performance. So,
Absolutely agree.
so yeah, big positive. If you've got someone to play it with, highly recommend picking up Split Fiction. Very, very interestingly fun game.
Very much.